So I would say 10 and certainly 12, 13, 14 years ago, really spicy. Generally teams went full bore and there was niggle and it was a must-watch event. And then I felt somewhere between Joe Schmidt and David Nucifora, bit of water was poured and all that, and teams weren't necessarily as strong, and the heat seemed to go out of it. And then Leinster were so dominant more recently that you think of those semi-finals and finals in 19 and 20 and 21, Munster didn't land a glove. So it just hasn't been a great decade for that rivalry. And yet Jack Crowley's dropped goal most recently, and the sense that Munster really are on the up. I'm as interested in this one now as I have been in quite some time, I have to say.
Yeah, I think it's a huge game for both teams on not different ends of the spectrum, because the gap is closing for sure. But if you look from a Munster point of view, back-to-back wins in the Aviva would be huge. And we talk about pivotal moments in changing the landscape. You know, that victory in Croke Park in 2009 definitely was not the catalyst, but part of the catalyst for change from a Leinster, you know, the underdogs or the second-rate team versus Munster, the standard setters, and then all of a sudden it was flipped, and that came with, you know, the next few years of success with Leinster and probably progress. And I think the spark was taken out, both from and competitiveness of games, because Leinster were winning the vast majority of those games, home and away, but also the lack of internationals going against one another. So it's great to have that back. It'll look as though it's going to be full bore. And we want the spark back. You want the animosity. You want hate's a strong word, but you want the edge. That's what we watch sport for. You don't want it to be sanitized. This is one of the great duels between teammates and rival provinces. And it was fantastic through that 10-year period where it was Munster, then us, and we'd pick off the odd win, but they were winning the big games, and then we turned it around. You want that back, where it's not fait accompli, that we're just watching one team, you know, comfortably progressing over the other.